Hey there, this is Niels Beardfoot, and today we're building a beetle bag. Beetle bag, beetle bag. For this we're using 2.7mm or 7-ounce wedge tanned leather. Transfer the pattern on the leather and then cut that out. Then we can break the edges with a beveler. To emboss the leather we need to moisten it. Also, this makes it easier to punch in the sewing holes. I use a groove cutter not to cut but only to mark by pushing it to trace a parallel line to the edge. This makes it easier and cleaner to put on some stamps along the edge. With a bone folder I'll create a lot of texture on the piece. A lot of soft strikes and then a few harder ones. As always I prefer the airbrush for dyeing, and I start with a light brown coat at first and then go to a darker brown to get the exact color that I want, and also to create some shadows, and then again I go with some black just a little bit along the edge to create more shadows. We use the texture now that we put in with some high grit 1000 grit sandpaper here and remove carefully some of the dye. This makes everything pop more. And to finish up the leather we use some resist all over the place. If you also put it on the edge, you can use the moisture of it to burnish him. Now we re-moisten everything to give it some shape. This makes it easier to sew. A regular breakfast bowl like this one, which is half round, also makes it very nice shaping tool. And here's how all the pieces we should have and how they look. The wings, the face, and the top horn. We got the belly horn as well as the rest of the belly. And we got the legs and the leg attachments. We're starting here with the top, connecting the face to the horn. It's not only sewn on here, but also on the front of the horn as well as here on the sides. Next, for the belly, it's a little bit easier. You just take them and then smack them together and there you go. And just do it the very same way with the next piece. Next we attach the belly horn. We want to first sew it here just like that. And then use rivets to connect it. Note that the ones on the front, left and right, not in the center, will also later be on the eyes. So you want to give them a little bit more brighter color and also use half ball head rivets. For the legs, we simply want to rivet them on some D-rings. But first we need to attach some pressure buttons on two of them as closure and attachment. Note that in my initial pattern these got very tight, so they are not that loose on the D-rings. And later in the pattern I changed that. And if you want to have it tight, as in the beginning, you also need to make these a little bit more tight. But else, just put them in as they are. The rivets, more to the outside, are a different color. Why? Because they are a little bit longer. Apart from that, they are the same. The two legs on the back are the ones with the pressure buttons, and they also go in the other direction. You can see again that they are quite stiff on the connection to the D-ring. This is not recommended, and in the pattern that you can buy, it's also not like this. Before we sew on the top to the belly, we want to moisten these edges so they easier shape themselves into place. Start sewing from both center holes and then to left and right, just like this. Here it's closed, but on the other side it's still opened, like this. Next we sew on the strap to one side. And then do the very same thing to the other one. While still moist, you also can bend in these straps a little bit more. Next we got this wing. We got here a center diamond basically, and we need to sew it on. As well as this gap here. For the other wing it's pretty much the same, just there's a strap on this side. Now we want to shape these together to fit as close as possible. To achieve this, moisten them, put some pliers on both ends and let them dry. Now, to sew them on the rest of the piece, we will have to reopen some of the stitching holes that we used already. Use an awl to widen them a bit so we got some space. It's very important that you start four holes on the top horn piece and then sew backwards. Now, to close both pieces, you got these round holes, and ideally you haven't punched them yet, just like I did. Absolutely. And then you check if they fit together, because they have to align for the closure. If they do not align, reposition them and then punch them. I'm using here a Sam Brown Head Rivet. I put it on one side and the other side needs this special hole with the little fin. I punch that as well and then it closes easily. For the final shaping and fitting, moisten the wings and then close them in this position that they should be. Because here in the end there might be some opening. Use some rubber bands to hold them in this position and just let them dry. And there you go. The finished Beetle bag. Beetle bag, Beetle bag. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really love this one. He's really cute. He is actually based on the Hercules Beetle. He got some space for a phone actually, not like many of my other bags. You can attach it in different ways, like the pressure buttons here on the back, or you use these D-rings that there are plenty of, attach them to a strap, to a belt, or whatever you like. I hope you enjoyed this. Leave a like if you did so, and see you guys next time. Have a great day.